Hi guys, good morning, happy Monday. I'm going to be showing you today how to make these gorgeous macrame bracelets. Now I'm using our new Diamante spacers. They're a rondelle bead. If you have a look here, I'm going to show you how to incorporate them with some beautiful knotting. So we're going to be doing a sliding clasp as well. So I haven't put the clasp on these yet, but they're fantastic because it will be one size fits all. So we're just going to wrap these around and then you will have the pull clasp on it as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, some lovely macrame knots. It's one of my favourite techniques. I absolutely love the finished look, and I'm going to show you today just how easy it is. Some of you might have seen the seed bead macrame bracelets that we were doing, I think that was last week, which were really lovely. Let me know if you had a go at those. This is obviously using the cord without any beads on it. We're going to introduce the Diamante spacers, so some of you might find it a little bit easier. So good morning, Margaret. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Jan. Margaret, Jen, Sheila, Camille, Joe. She says, morning, Sarah, Kitty and everyone. Kitty will be behind the scenes answering everything. Good morning, Lucy. Hi, Helen, Margaret. Hope you've all had an amazing weekend. We had a lovely video yesterday, so let me know if you got your tile bracelets on Saturday. They were a feature on the newsletter, and then we uploaded a video yesterday. We weren't live, but we had a video to show you how to make the beautiful tile necklace as well. So let me know if you caught that. Hopefully you all enjoyed that as well. Good morning Shirley. Good morning from Florida. Got my first order, have fast and perfect. Thank you. Well done, Totally Beads in the warehouse. That's amazing. We have everybody from around the world again this morning. Good morning, Chef. She says, good morning, Sarah, Kitty, and the rest of our beading family all over the world. Yeah, we've got loads of people tuning in from all over the place this morning. Good morning, Alison. Hi, Anne. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Yes, Monday again. Here we go. So, let's get started. Now, on the website, I should have put my iPad in. Forgot. On the website this morning, in the Facebook categories, we've got 3 beautiful colours of the rondelle beads. I'll turn you down in a minute and show you them. There is also a mixture of cords for you to choose from. In fact, I'm just going to turn you down to face the mat so that I can show you them, because I'll show you the difference between all of them. So let's have a little look. Just pop you into place. Okay, so the 3 colours of the rondelle spacers that we have, we've got the gorgeous gold. So as you can see, they are beautiful rondelle beads. The spacers themselves house gorgeous little chaton crystals in the middle, and they've got 3 different finishes. So we either have the gold, obviously my favourite, you know me, the rose gold, which I think is just beautiful. And as you can see, you get real sparkle. Now, they are spacer beads, so a lot of people incorporate them into just their strong projects, into stretch elastic bracelets, and here's the silver. But what I wanted to do was, with something like this, I think you really show them off as much as you can. Which really makes them a feature rather than a small spacer. I think they need to have a little bit more of a statement make for them. Janice says, have just started macrame after doing the pendant with twisted rope. Thank you. Oh, fabulous. That was one of my favourite makes, I have to say. I absolutely loved doing that tutorial, and the outcome was absolutely gorgeous. I think that's now up in the office after my trip there last week. Otherwise, I'd give you a little look. But you can always go back and look at old projects if you missed those. Okay, so these are the square knots that we're going to be doing. So very similar to things that you have seen. Lucy's saying she's already filled her basket. Now, we don't have loads of stock of these. I think the silver and the rose we have the least of. We might have a little bit more gold. Now, the cords that you're going to need, I'm going to show you the difference between them, because there are a few, and depending on what projects you have bought since we started doing the tutorials, you might even have some of them already. So, cords. You can use the satin rattail. Now, this has a little bit of a sheen to it. It is a little bit thicker. This is 1 mil in thickness. Might even be 1.5 actually. I'll have to have a look on the website. Fractional difference. That we do also have a 2.5 millimeter thick cord, but that is too thick. You won't get it through the middle of your rondelle spaces. So the 1 is going to be absolutely perfect. That gives you a bit more of a sheen. Now it does give you a little bit of a chunkier finish. I mean, even still, this is very petite and delicate, as you can see. If I just pop this on my wrist, but it does give you a little bit more of a rigid finish, and you can see more of the knots in between. If I move down to our thinner cord, it's just a little bit softer. You can see the difference between the two. It's going to give you a little bit more of a delicate finish, a little bit softer. You can see these are a little bit more floppy, whereas this one is a little bit more rigid, and it doesn't quite have the shine. So if I show you the difference between the cords there without the beads, you can see the difference. Now we do have more colours available in these ones. They come in lovely hanks. It's not the satin sheen finish. You can see it's more of a woven look. And the ones that I've used cream with my gold, and I've used grey with my silver. Just for the sake of the video, I'm hoping that the black is going to show. Oh look, you can tell I was beading in the garden. How naughty is that? I've got a leaf in there. On Saturday I was just sat in the garden in the sun, having a lovely little time in the sun, making all of these for you. So I'm going to use the black today, I think. Is that going to show up easier? Let's hope so. Let me have a look at it in the camera. Yeah, I think let's use the black. So, as you may know, when I do macrame, if you've seen some of my tutorials before, I actually use a box lid. So this is one of my, I've just got a sheet of paper in to cover because otherwise you're going to see the glare from my light. So I use an A4 box lid, and I'm going to put a little bit of tape on the sides, and I find this a lot easier, especially when I'm working with beads. Now you can actually use the macrame boards to be able to do these. I can show you with the clasp with one of these, and then you would just take your project, take your cords, and you would just secure it into the middle there, top and a bottom, like so, and then you can bead around them. Now when I'm doing something like this, I prefer to use the box lid because I'm actually going to be adding on loads of my beads to begin with. So Lucy says she won 50 quid on bingo last night, so she spent it all on beads. Congratulations, Lucy. That was a great win. Okay, so I'm going to take just longer than my length of bracelet. With these bracelets, for your centre cord, I like to leave myself not only enough to go down the macrame board, but also onto my mat. Once I've made this, I'm probably going to trim to about here, but I need enough to be able to tie the knots on the end of my clasp. So I just give myself a little bit longer, and I'm going to secure this onto my box lid. So I just take an even amount top and bottom, and I'm just going to secure that on at the top, and then I'm going to secure it on at the bottom. Now lots of you might have clipboards that you use, you might attach them onto cushions. There is no right or wrong, but what I love about this is that I've got full space all the way around. So I call this one my tightrope, the centre tightrope, which will be the spine of my bracelet. I find this so much easier, especially when I'm working with strung beads, because it gives me all of this area to pull them through and they're not going to get caught up. Now, when it comes to my middle cords, I'm going to take about 1.5 meters. It sounds excessive, I know, but when we sell it on spools like this, there is plenty to be playing with. I have a feeling there is something ridiculous, like 70 meters on there. So I'm going to take my 1.5 meters, fold it in half, and place it underneath my tightrope centre. Now, before I do this, I'm actually going to prep the end of my cords. Now, I meant to do this last night and I completely forgot, so I'm going to do it now. Now, you can use a glue, you can use anything that is going to slightly stiffen the end of the cord. Now, I tend to keep, you know when your nail polishes go a little bit too gloopy, they're a bit old, they dry out a little bit and they go a bit gloopy. That is honestly the perfect consistency for things like this. So I will just take some of my nail polish and I'm going to put it on the end of my cord. Now this is going to make it so much easier. I'm just going to put a little bit on the brush itself, you know, when it's too thick to go onto your nails. And I'm just going to paint a little bit onto the end of the cord, like so. Now I'm pushing it down with the brush so that it goes into the cord. Now you could use PVA glue, you could use any glue, to be honest with you. You just want something that's going to dry reasonably quickly, and that's why I prefer nail polish. So I'm going to set that one aside to dry. This is going to prevent everything. Oh, Dorothy, she says, sounds like me, a bit old and gloopy. That's how I feel today, I tell you. Really, really busy month for me, and a big old weekend. I don't like it when I wake up on a Monday and I feel tired. It's not a great start, is it? So this is going to prevent the ends from fraying, and it's just going to make threading on your beads a little bit easier. And I don't like waste, so with your old nail polishes, and it doesn't even have to be clear, you could use a colour one as well. They get banished to the jewellery boxes because I will use them for projects like these. So I'm just going to work that in. You can already see that as soon as the nail polish starts to soak through, it already straightens out and becomes a little bit more rigid. Okay, so whilst we tie our first few knots, that's going to be drying. Like so. I'll leave them out the way. So I'm going halfway onto my cords. So I've got 1.5 meters, so this is the very center. And then I'm going to take my left strand and place it over the right, and then I'm going to take my right strand and place it over that one. I'm going to lift you up ever so slightly. Hold on 1 minute. Let's lift you up a bit higher so that you can see a bit more. There we go. Into the middle, so my left strand over the right, right strand over this one, and then I'm just going to take that end and go underneath the tightrope and up into that circle that we've created. And as you pull that through, you will see that you have your first knot, and it's secured around the center piece, like so. Now that's half of my square knot. So I will take my right cord now and do exactly the same thing, but reverse it. So I'm going to take my right cord and place it over the middle. Left will come over the one I've just worked with, underneath the tightrope and up into that circle. And as you begin to work, you will get quicker and quicker. So over the middle, over the one you've just placed, and underneath, pulling that through. And you can see how easy it is when you've got this suspended cord in the middle, because everything just flows really nice and quickly. And for me, I just think that that's the easiest way to go, especially when I start introducing all my beads in a minute as well. If you don't have any box lids that you can use, you can of course use your macrame board. It's the right tool for the job. I just find if you don't do very much macrame, you might not want to invest in boards and everything else as well until you know that it's something that you're going to enjoy doing. So you will see from my tutorial that we did with the crystal oval pendant, like we were talking about a moment ago, if you keep on working with one cord, so you keep on starting with your left, you get that lovely twist, and we made that gorgeous twisted rope, didn't we? This way, if we do the left, it would begin to twist, but we counterbalance that with the right. So every time you're just doing one on the left, one on the right, 3, 4, and that will keep it straight. So start with your left cord and then start with your right. Now, a few people were commenting in some of the other tutorials, especially when we were doing things with just the cords. If you put a knot on one end, or you add a different coloured bead once you have added all of your spaces on, which we'll do in a minute, whatever side that cord is on is always the side that you will use. My other top tip is that if I lift this up, I'm going to show you the actual knots. So you can see here, and hopefully you can see it clear enough on the camera, you get these little loops over, and whatever side that loop is on is the side that you work on next. So obviously my loop is here. I'm not sure if you can see it in that colour, so I'm just going to show you in the silver, which is a little bit thinner. Here you go, perfect. So these little loops that you can see that go over. That's how you can count the amount of knots that you have done. So at the top of these, I'll always do 5 or 6. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can do that so that you've got the right amount at the bottom as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that way you'll always know that you're getting a great amount as well. Leanne, is macrame the technique for friendship bracelets too? Yes, you can make friendship bracelets out of these. Yeah, it's kind of traditionally how you would make them. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be enough for here. And now I'm going to start introducing my beads. And the end of my cord has dried and become a little bit more rigid. So I'm now going to take my scissors, snip off that end. So you can see now I've got a nice needle-like point, and you could hear it was kind of going through that nail polish. It's got a good old crunch to it. And these will now be ready to prep for my beads. So I think we'll go rose gold, obviously. Now, the packs of spacers that we have, you get 100 pieces. So I have split this. It was 100 pieces for $9.99. I can't remember if Kitty and Simon have put those on offer today, I'm afraid. I should have brought my iPad in for you, and I'm sorry that I didn't. But I used 50 in this bracelet. So I've got 25 beads on either side. So you would get 2 full bracelets. So effectively £5 a bracelet, because you are using such minimal cost of your cord. If you have a little look here, it's big enough for me, with my 5 knots on either side, but I haven't even added my clasp yet, which will increase it to a little bit of a bigger size. So you could make 2 full length, full size bracelets out of your pack, but you could do smaller sections as well. So you could have more of your naked knots all the way up, and then introduce smaller bits. So you could have just, I don't know, maybe 6 in the middle as a nice little feature. You could extend that out and just have a nice little centerpiece that would only be sat in the very middle of your wrist. The rest could be knots, in which case you're going to get mass makes out of your 100 spacers. So I've got 50 left in here. I split my pack into 2, and then you're just going to add them onto your cord. And you'll see that, because if I get a cord that I haven't prepped with my nail polish, you'll see that it's obviously it's a little bit blunter. And as you start to put them through, can you see that it's starting to fray the ends? So for every bead that I would add on here, can you see that the end just gets wider and wider, in which case I'm then going to have to trim it off once it frays and it's no longer going to add my beads on. Whereas when you have just taken that little step to prep the end of your cord, it's not going to fray and you're not going to lose any material. So I'm not going to bother threading all of these on, but I will do a few so that we can add them into the bracelet and show you how to start incorporating them in. So let's go for a few on this cord. Once you have them on, you're just going to tie a knot in the end. I'm going to go a little bit higher because I'm not threading all of mine on here. So I'm just going to tie a knot. You would do it right at the end once you've added on all 25 onto your strand, so that I don't have to keep on pulling all of the cord through. I'm just going to tie a knot a little bit higher. You can, if you wanted to, rather than preloading all of these beads, you could add them on the end. Oh my goodness, 100 pieces are £7 today. That means that in this bracelet, I've got like £3.50 worth of beads. So I would say that's probably like a £3, it's probably about 10 pence worth of cord, not even 5 pence. So you've got like a £3.50 bracelet, effectively. £3.55, let's say, just to be conservative. And I definitely do not think that they look like that's cost me £3.50. So again, you can add on as many as you like, spread these out as far as you like. I think they're just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I've prepped up my cords. I've added on some of my beads. We've got 5 knots up at the top already. I'm just going to tie a little knot in here to hold my beads into place. And now we're going to start introducing beads. So you will bring up You will bring up one bead onto either side, like so. Adding them on, and then we're going to continue our knots. So you bring them up and you completely forget that they're there. So then we're going to go left over the middle, right over that one, and underneath. And this is where the height of the cord, I think, makes it so much easier, because my cords and my beads will just come straight through. Let me just move this arm out of the way a little bit for me, guys, because I'm just going to keep on making you dizzy otherwise. And then we're going to bring the beads right up, and I'm just going to tie this knot. Now, you can have the beads so that they are sat horizontally, so you could have them sat square on, but I like to just slightly tilt them up so that I get this sort of herringbone effect when they are finished. So you'll see I've got them facing upwards, and then I'm going to tie that knot as tight as I can, and then you do one more knot so you're not on the right without any beads, like so. And then I'm going to bring up my next beads, one on the left, one on the right, and we'll do the same thing again. It honestly couldn't be simpler. And this is what I absolutely love. I often talk about this when I do Create and Craft TV. Crafts where you can kind of put in minimal effort but get out maximum results, I just think is fantastic. And this bracelet is one of those. Minimal effort, maximum result. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So you can see I'm just keeping on bringing these up, pulling them through. And can you see if I didn't have this height through my center cord, my beads are going to get caught up. I'm not going to be able to pull them through. It's going to get caught on itself and the others. So I just find it really, really useful. Make everything as simple for yourself as you can. And can you see even that in the middle of your bracelet would be beautiful, and you could use 9 of them. So if you, 6 of them, if you really want to be savvy with your materials. I'm going all in. I'm having fully embellished bracelets, just because we need a little bit more bling in our life sometimes. Looks nice on an angle, more dainty, says Lorna. Yeah, I think so too. If you had them out so that they are square, and you can position them, but they would probably move. I mean, it still looks pretty. I could probably angle these out if I haven't done it too tightly. I think my tension's too tight. But they will move. So by doing them all in this sort of herringbone weave, you get that chevron. They sit beautifully. They're not going to move anywhere, and especially in this thicker cord. So this is the satin rattail. So it holds on to them really beautifully. When you use our other cord, they are a little bit more pliable, so they will move a little bit more. You can see that I can just run my fingers along those. Some of them have come out of place. And a lot of that can be your tension as well, but it's just a thinner cord, so it just doesn't hold them in as hard. Okay, so that is how you're going to create your bracelet. You're going to keep on going. Your left hand cord will introduce your beads. Your right hand cord will be just to balance that up and stop it twisting. Now, to do your clasp. So I'm going to take this off. You'll keep on going, and you will finish with the same equal amount of knots that you had up at the top, and finish them down at the bottom. When it comes to cutting these off, again, I'm going to use my nail polish. You can use glue. It's whatever you're comfortable using. I'm just going to take, and because this is black, I'm not worried about how much I use, because it will seep in and dry completely clear. So I'm making sure that I go on the edge of my knot and over that cord and down the side. I want this to be super secure. And like I said, it's just going to soak it up, soak it in, so it won't matter, and that will dry nice and clear. Okay, once that's dry, we'll snip those ends off. But for now, we're going to do the clasp. Now, the clasp is a sliding knot. It's not like the sliding knot. Good grief, I have shown you so much in these videos. We've covered a lot of techniques, actually. So we had a ceramic necklace, and I showed you a sliding knot to be able to make your necklace longer or shorter. This is slightly different because I'm going to be using the square knots as well. So this gives you a bigger clasp finish. So I'm taking the ends of my bracelet, ignore this cord because that is the end of my beads. I'm going to take both sides of my bracelet and cross it over. And having these flat in the middle, I'm going to pull them in a little bit tighter. And then I'm going to secure this onto my tray. Now, again, you can use your board. It's entirely up to you, whatever you find easier. So I'm going to take one side. I'm just going to move to the corner of my board. I also saw someone said earlier that they use a biscuit tin. Great idea. And if you leave your biscuits in there, you can be knotting away and just have a little treat. I'm loving that idea. Okay, so this is how we're going to do our clasp. I've now taken a smaller length, probably about 30 centimetres, and I'm going to take that underneath and again pull to the middle. So now it's just like the start of our bracelet. So I'm going to take that left over, right over the one we've worked with, underneath and up into that tight rope. Your first one is always harder, of course, because you want to keep it in place. So you'll see my index finger is just holding it in place, and then I'm going to pull that tightly. Now this one I don't pull so tightly because I need the cords in the middle of this to be able to move. So I need there to be a little bit of movement, a little bit of space in between. So as you can see, you can slide that up and down. I do tend to over tighten things like this. So I'm just going to try and not pull it too tight. And now I'm going to go over the other side, under and down, up and through the loop and pull it tightly. And I'm just going to do this until I've got a few knots. Now this is where you can adapt the length of your bracelet. So if you didn't want too many of your spacer beads, maybe you wanted a larger clasp, maybe you've run out of beads, you can make this longer. If, for example, you just make your middle section, so that's these sections, if you make them a standard length, so say, for example, 7.5 inches, you can then use your clasp as an extender to make it bigger. And what I've done previously, so I've done a few craft fairs, selling some of my jewellery. I would have these bracelets and I would have them as 7.25 inch. And then whoever buys them, you just measure it up and you can add like 1 inch or 2 inches or 3 inches of your clasp at the bottom. And then it's totally bespoke to them. And it, like you can see, it only takes a few minutes to actually do the clasp. And I think that's really nice, a nice way of making sure that something fits somebody perfectly. However, if you want to have these all prepped and you're going to gift them, then doing just a standard inch in the middle-ish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's enough for me. I'm gonna, actually let's do a couple more, because I've got a feeling I'm going to lose this one to my mum. My mum has brought my nephews here for a little sleepover. They've come to visit. It's the first time they've been able to stay since lockdown. So I am beside myself with excitement. My nephews are 8 and 6. And I'm going to take them to an owl sanctuary this afternoon. But I popped into the living room just to show mum what I was making today in the video. Showed her this one. She says, "Oh, I think that's going to be one I'll have to inherit." She absolutely loves it. So I'll make it just a little bit bigger, as I know she wears a larger bracelet than I do. Okay, all the way through. Lovely. I'm going to finish that there. Now, if I take this off, you will see if you want to gift them, it will be one size fits all. Because once you pull these middle cords, and your first time might be a little bit harder just because you've got that tighter tension. There's your finished bracelet. And then these little sections, we are going to leave a little bit longer and you can add a bead on the base. So I don't like it when they dangle too much, but we'll put a knot on there, add one of our spacers. I haven't prepped the end of this cord, but hopefully that will go in. I only need one. There we go. Little top tip there actually, and I'll show you that in a sec. Let's just put one on there, positioning the knot for the end. So I've got one knot to hold it in place on this side, and then securing my knot on the other, I'm just going to take a needle, place that into that circle of my knot, and pull it tightly whilst I've got my needle in there. That will stop it from tightening until I've got it in the exact place I want it. And I'm just going to roll that down my cord all the way to my bead. And then once it's in place, I can pull that needle out. Roll that in. And then I can put a little bit of glue on there and finish it. Or you could have just a separate bead on the end. We'll do the same on the other side. And then that means that I've got all of that space, so I can pull this clasp open all the way to where my bead is. And now you've got a huge bracelet. So it's a really nice way to be able to make one size fits all bracelets that are going to be super comfortable to wear as well. And then once your glue has dried, or your nail polish, whatever you are using, this feels pretty secure. I always take my flush cutters if I knew where they were. Here we go. I always take my flush cutters rather than my scissors because I can just get a better finish. Oh, so I can just trim that right in there. Right into the edge, trim that, and that's just going to give me a fantastic finish. And there we go. You'll do the same for your ends on here. Some of your glue or nail polish. Now what you must remember when you're gluing your clasp is not to get your glue into the center, because remember you have these two cords running through and you don't want to glue those in place. So it's purely just on the end here, on the end here, turn it around and do the same on this side. Whilst it's drying, just every now and again, give it a little pull and just make sure that your glue won't have dried in place. Once you've got that movement, it's going to be fine. You might have noticed that with my cord a moment ago when I was threading this on, I actually put it in and I twisted it with my fingers. That will allow you, sometimes if the end's are frayed and you only need to add on one bead like I did there, that will allow you to go through a little bit easier. So like with a frayed end like this, you can see it's going to struggle to go through because you've got all those knotted frayed ends. Just give it a little twist and that will encourage it to go through. It's a lot easier than having to prepare a whole piece. So then once it's on, you can actually hold one end with your hand, pull the other, and you've got your lovely bracelet. Super, super simple, but very effective. And then you just pull it open and off it will slide. Really, really easy. Couldn't be easier, just a few knots. But as we always say, it's the materials that are going to make the world of difference. And with these, you are getting phenomenal value. So remember, you've got your bags of 100 for £7 in your rose gold, your gold, and your silver. I can't decide which one I prefer. I do sometimes wear mixed metals. And in these ones, I really love the silver as well. I think that's a really gorgeous sort of daytime look. It's just a little bit more casual. Goes with my other bracelet, obviously, as well. Or then actually, no, maybe black is more daytime. And then more of your bling into the evening. Not that we're going out anywhere at the moment, but you know what I mean. It's going to be 4 times coming. So I really hope you enjoyed. Actually, shall I give you a little sneak peek for tomorrow's video? Hold on one sec. Let me grab my earrings for tomorrow. I've got so many beads. It's always busy when I come back from Totally Beads because Kitty and I will do so much planning. So much planning, and I then bag everything up and bring it all home. So I've got so many different bags all over the place, and I haven't yet put it all away because I only got home Friday night. So this is what we are doing tomorrow. Wire wrapped crystal earrings. Now there are several different designs that you can make out of one set. So I'm going to show you how to do the wire wrapping. I'm going to show you how to freeform some shapes. Diane says, question, what is the thinner cord? I'm going to have a look. I can't remember what cord, what the name is of it on the website. But if you go into, oh, Camille says put all three together into one. If you go onto the website, it's all in there as well. So you'll be able to find it. It's not the satin rattail cord, it's the other one. Kitty or Molly, if you're still there, can you just tell me what it's actually called on the website, please? I can't get this one into my ear today. Don't know why. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, we don't. Anyway, these are the ones that we're making tomorrow. So I've done 3 different shapes. But we'll see if we can come up with a few more tomorrow. So you can create loops, you can create droplets and dangles, and if you want to go all out, I'm going to show you how to freeform some spirals as well. Let me try this one. So tomorrow is wire wrapping. We've got some beautiful beads, beautiful wires. I should save this for tomorrow, really, shouldn't I? I can't see. Oh, it's the 1mm rattail cord, is it? 150 meters. I think that's the one that you mean. Some amazing statement earrings tomorrow. So we're going to have lots of fun with wire wrapping, getting those really neat, wrapping your loops. I just think these are so fun. It's just going to brighten up any outfit. And we've got some amazing kits and some amazing offers. Leanne says wire wrapping. Yes. Excellent. We will have lots of fun tomorrow. So join me tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock for wire wrapping and some lovely earrings. I hope you really like them. The kits are multi makes. I think I actually worked out you'd be able to get like 7 pairs of earrings from one kit, and we're going to do them so that they are all different sizes. Sheila says, Sarah, if you lick your thumb and forefinger and rub it over your earlobe, your earring will go in better. Well, I never knew. Thanks for sharing your tip. I'm going to try that. I'm going to anti-back my hands first because I've been touching a lot of stuff, but then I'll do it. Thank you so much. Amazing. Okay, thanks guys. I hope you've really enjoyed today. Lovely bracelets. I absolutely love them. I'm going to probably put one on now, ready to go out. Hoping an owl doesn't steal it off my wrist. Oh, Rachel says, have a fun day out, Sarah. Thank you so much. Yeah, a bit of family time. I've worked the last few weekends, so going to enjoy that before the madness ensues with the rest of the few weeks that I've got. Lots of telly shows and everything. I'll see you all tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Enjoy your Monday. Have a great day. And let me know if you are making any of the bracelets. Obviously, you know, I'm a bit macrame obsessed. So let me know what you are making as well. Take care, everyone. Love to you all, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks. Bye.